Well, now, you see, there we go. That's amateur hour right there. That's what that was. All
Two
right,
mistakes in one day. Holy cow, bro.
No. The first one was fucking StreamYard's fuck up.
So you say. You know what I mean? I mean, you say
Listen,
it's
when you got it
StreamYard,
scheduled
but...
on your channel,
Mm-hmm.
and then you go there,
yeah, that's what I thought. Go ahead, make the excuses.
Okay. I had to mute something there. I had doubling and all sorts of crazy stuff going on. So, yeah, trying to figure this out. Got it figured out now. Guys, do me a favor. If you're watching, sorry about the screw up there. Part of that StreamYards. The other part just now was my fault, but whatever. Do me a favor, guys. Go over and check out our YouTube channel over there at Chaos Central. Try to get that up to 100 subscribers. Please do me a favor. Right there's the link in the chat. Tweet us out, guys. The tweet I did put out today is no longer good because, well, that link didn't start. So whatever. That's just the fun stuff. But now that we're starting, let's go ahead and talk to who we have today. As usual, we have Nzo here. Danny could not make it today. He got called into work. That happens sometimes. So we have the illustrious, the all-knowing, the great and wise Shellback TJC here to fill in for Danny today. Shellback, how you doing today?
Super.
I'm going to tell you right now that lovely card you have right there, I pushed because I wanted you to win that, and I am so glad you did.
Nice.
My horse came in.
Yeah,
Wait. My turtle came in.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Anyways, go ahead. Let's talk about yourselves and tell everybody about yourselves and what you've been up to. Go ahead, Nzo. Tell everybody about yourself and where they can find you.
Yes, sir. You guys know where you can find me. My channel is Biggaford Entertainment. I'm on the Rule of Three, Chaotic Conversation, and the Chaotic List, which is my channel. We also got Square One and Equilibrium later on today with Terrence and John. As Chris said, Danny probably won't be joining us on that show, but still check it out. And usually every night we're on with Mr. Robert Storms and Storms Live. So check out all those shows. Appreciate it. Thank you for your cooperation.
Yeah, not a problem. All right. And then up next, TJC, Shellback. Tell them about yourself and where they can find you.
Hello, humans. You can find me at Jermaine Terrence. No, just kidding.
I was going to say. Terrence?
Nah, just what it says, Shellback TJC, YouTube, Twitter.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. And also current reigning champion of the Fandom Collective card fight. How do you feel about that? Do you want to give a victory speech or anything?
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to
You had some stiff competition.
I had to beat a one-legged guy and a frog to get there, but you know.
Listen, whatever it takes to win, right? All right, so let's do this. We're going to share this screen right here to bring up the wheel of topics. We picked 3 topics. We got 3 minutes on the board for each of us to talk about. Then we talk about it together for 3 minutes. If we have differing opinions, we try to hash that out. If not, we just talk some more about that topic after the 3 topics are done. Sometimes we'll just kind of go over some of the topics we already talked about for a little bit longer. We go about 1 hour. So let's get this started. Shellback, since you're going to be, since you're the guest today, I'm going to let you go first. And we're going to find out what the first topic is. Here you go. Your lovely porn question you wanted. With Christian Bale confirmed to be in Thor: Love and Thunder, do you think he will outshine Chris Hemsworth? Righty? Let's would you give me just a second while I make sure I copy and paste this so everybody in the chat can get it too. Gonna put that out there for you guys. That is the current question and time 3 minutes on the board starts now.
Not necessarily. I mean, you know, it's a Thor movie, right? But it's not about Thor. It's about, I don't know, Lady Thor or whatever you want, you know. So I mean, it's like, you know, from the get-go, you know, Hemsworth isn't even the star of his own movies, so I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna. It's not an issue of Bale outshining Hemsworth. It's you know, Natalie Portman outshining the two of them because it's about her.
Well, that's I mean, that's kind of what you're thinking.
I don't know. I can't really think of much else to say about it.
Well, I mean, think about stuff that the Christian Bale's been in. I mean, does he outshine him because of that? I mean, because I would beg to say that he's a better actor.
Mm-hmm.
Would you?
Well, I mean, unless he walks up to Bale and is like, you know, what's the gender? What's the gender? You know, like, you know, I don't know. I don't even really plan on going to see the damn thing. So
don't, huh? Interesting.
Not really.
Not a Thor fan?
No, I actually liked all the ones they put out so far. I mean, you know, which
you don't think you'll like this one?
A lot of people are like, you know, oh well, you know, Dark World sucked or Ragnarok sucked or whatever. And, you know, I didn't mind them. I mean, you know, I initially had small issue with you know, like Nordic gods being portrayed by non-Nordic looking people, but you know, I mean, in the first, well, not in just in the first movie, but you know, old, you know, Idris did a good job, you know, at Heimdall and all that, but yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a Thor movie, you know, because it's not going to be about Thor. It's going to be about, what's her name? Jane? Is it Jane?
Jane Foster.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. All right. Onzo.
Yep.
3 minutes. Go ahead.
Well, I'm kind of on the same thing. I don't think that Chris Hemsworth is gonna have much big of a role. I think he's gonna be set up as like a side character. I don't know how they're gonna play it, but maybe Jane is only Thor at the end of the movie. I have no idea. Will Christian Bale outshine him? I doubt it, because Marvel's track record with their villains ain't that great anyways. But again, if you have Christian Bale in the movie, you're probably gonna try and do something with him on the same lines of what you did with Killmonger or something like that. For me, it just all depends on how much Chris Hemsworth we see. I agree with you. Christian Bale is a better actor, hands down. Like, there's no question of that. You can tell by some of the movies he did. You know, I wasn't a big fan of his Batman at all. And I'm hoping we don't get no stupid kind of voice like Shellback just did, because that'll just throw me out of the movie.
Those were some of my favorite Batman movies, though.
Actually, not me. Dark Knight was the only one that I liked out of the trilogy. So I didn't like Rises, and I wasn't a big fan of Batman Begins either. And to be honest with you, I only liked Dark Knight because of the Joker. Christian Bale's Batman, to me, just I can't take his voice. Once he starts talking, throws me out of the movies right away. I'm like, no, can't do it. But yeah, he's a very good actor. You know what I mean? Ford versus Ferrari, great movie, and other stuff that he's done. Yeah, so
he was he did a phenomenal job as that guy. Yeah,
absolutely he did.
Ken Miles. That's what Ken
So
Miles.
there is a chance that he can outshine Chris Hemsworth, but again, it's like I said, it depends on how much screen time they both have. Because if they're going with Jane Foster as Thor, I'm thinking maybe half of the movie she's going to be the female Thor. I don't know if she's going to end being the female Thor, but she's definitely going to be the female Thor for at least the majority of the movie. So, and if that's the case, and she's fighting Christian Bale, because Christian Bale's the bad guy, if I'm not mistaken, right?
That's the idea, I think.
Yeah, right. So,
see, I don't even know who he's supposed to be.
yeah, I'm not sure who he's supposed to be either, but I heard he was supposed to be playing the bad guy. And if he does, then it means it's going to be him and Jane Foster going at it through most of the movie if she becomes Thor. So, yeah, there's a big possibility he can outshine Chris Hemsworth, that's for sure. I mean, if they both have the same amount of screen time, then I think he'll outshine him.
Okay, so according to what I find on here, he's supposed to be playing Dario Ager, aka Minotaur.
Okay.
So yeah, probably would be, because the Minotaur is more of a evil character in that idea. All right, will he outshine Chris Hemsworth? I'm not positive. I'm a little more. I have a little more belief that they're going to put Chris Hemsworth in this a lot more than people think they're going to. I don't think they're going to hinge this whole movie on Natalie Portman being the lead. I think you're going to see Chris Hemsworth. He's still Thor. I don't know how much of his powers he's going to have. I don't know what we're going to see. I think he'll show up in this. I believe, if anything, it's going to be there to help her figure out how to be what she's going to become, or that he's going to be the one that bestows the power on her because she's dying of cancer, like it is in the comic book. I would also think that with Natalie Portman, this is probably a one and done. I think she came back for that short bit in Endgame. I think she's going to do this movie, and I'm leaning on the side that she's going to be done after this. So I think they might kill off the character so that goes away, and that's no longer speculation on, is she going to be there? Are they going to make a female Avengers team? Is she going to be on it? I could be completely wrong on this. I just kind of think that might be what they're going to do, because she didn't want to come back. And then something, and Gwyneth Paltrow didn't want to come back. And yet they both did. So I think that was more just sheer, they had to wrap up what they had. They had 10 years with these characters, and while neither her or Gwyneth Paltrow actually probably had more of a role in most of the movies she was in than Natalie Portman had. But Natalie Portman had a big part in the first movie, but the second movie was kind of about her being taken over. But yeah, I still think that they just had to wrap everything up with Endgame, and then they're like, well, now that Thor's off into space and he's Fat Thor, we got to kind of, wrangle this all back in. So they might just play this story out so it's done. And if she does die because of cancer, if that really is how they play it, then that would be a reason why he would want to come back and be Thor again, perhaps. I'm not sure. But Christian Bale can outshine. But in this type of a part, I'm not sure that's really going to be a thing, because they're not going to, if Chris Hemsworth is in it any great deal, they're going to make sure that he gets it's going to work for him. Because if he's in this, he's going to say, I want this, this, and this, probably.
Well, they say Christian Bale is pretty hard to work with, right?
Yeah, it's been said. Let's talk about this for 3 minutes. Christian Bale has a history. He's also kind of a method actor, which means he gets into his parts. I don't know.
Like I was saying, like he has So if there's things in the movie that he doesn't like, or you know what I mean, if he feels like he's not shining, maybe he might take a hissy fit and try and get them to change certain things. Maybe they promised him a good role that he's going to be able to shine, you know, because like you said, he's like a diva. When I seen that video of him yelling at his crew members and everything, like, yeah, he seems like he's very hard to work with.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it could be that could be the case. I just think right now the problem is knowing what exactly the roles are going to be. Chris Hemsworth's in this. We know it. Is he just in some cut scenes, like where he's off with the Guardians of the Galaxy, or is there going to be something that brings him back? Like I said, I have a feeling what we're going to find out is that he's going to be off with the Guardians of the Galaxy. Something's going to get said to him. Somehow he's going to get a message, and he's going to find out that Jane's dying of cancer. And the only thing he can think of is giving her the power he has to help her. And again, if they even take part of this from the comic book, she's going to have cancer. That's going to be one big part you have to have. The power that she gets from Thor to be the female Thor is going to ravage her body even more while protecting her at the same time. Those are the key things I think they need to keep. It would be kind of against what they normally do, though, to follow the comic books so closely. So I'm not sure if that is the way they'll go.
Well, there are a few things that they do follow in the comics, right? So I'm like, you know what? Maybe they will. You know, maybe they won't. It's like you said. I think she's like a one and done too, because she was done with Marvel anyways. I believe they probably got her to come back by giving her this movie. You know what I mean? Saying, okay, this is what we plan to do in the next Thor movie if you come back and do these scenes for Endgame. You know, Endgame? Yeah, for Endgame. So I have a big feeling that that's why she did it, and I do believe that she's going to be a one and done as well. 100%.
I think her character works better as a one and done.
So. Me too. Because do you really want to see her as Thor going through the rest of the...
No, I want Fat Thor gone too, though. So
yeah, me too. I want Fat Thor gone too.
Yeah,
I thought they were going to get rid of Fat Thor at the end of Endgame.
Yeah, I don't understand that. It's like as soon as he becomes
the hammer Thor, and
whatever.
He should have went back to normal Thor. I agree.
The second question we got here: do you think that Black Widow will retcon anything from Endgame? Do you think that Black Widow will retcon anything from Endgame? Let's let me put this in the chat. And we'll remove that. And we get 3 minutes up on the board. Nzo, I'll let you go first.
No problem. All right. I will go ahead.
Go ahead.
I will definitely say that I do not think they will. I know there are the rumors out there that, you know, it was Black Widow's sister or her sister in Endgame. I just don't believe that to be the case. I don't want that to be the case. I think it's kind of stupid if they do that. What I did hear, though, makes more sense than anything like that. What I heard was that Ross was actually trying to get a serum, right? That's why he's in the movie. So he's trying to get the super soldier serum, and he ends up getting it at the end of the movie, and maybe in a cutscene, he becomes the Red Hulk. So supposedly the whole Black Widow movie is based around that serum, which makes a lot of sense. That's why he would be in it. That's why he would be going up against Black Widow, or if he's with Black Widow on the same team. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. But we do know that this movie has Black Widow on the run, right? It comes after Civil War. So if that's the case, then I believe he's probably chasing her down. Maybe he makes a deal with her and says, listen, if you can get this for me, we'll wipe your record clean or whatever. because at the end of Infinity War, she's running everything, right? And
Pretty
by
much.
yeah, and by Endgame, her and Steve, I'm sorry, Infinity Wars, her and Steve are still on the run, but you can tell that it's probably not as bad as it was after Civil War, probably died down a bit or whatever. So I'm more inclined to believe that that's the plot of it than to believe that they're going to retcon it. I mean, Marvel knows what they were doing. They knew that killing Black Widow would have been a more effect than having it been Hawkeye. So I also believe that they know what they're doing. I don't think they're going to want to go back and change it. Plus, I would be okay if they actually changed or made the sister the new Black Widow. I'd be fine with that. At the end of the day, we can't have the same characters running around over and over again. Tony Stark is gone, Captain America is gone, Black Widow is gone for now. So let's leave them gone, keep it like that, and move on with new characters because that's what it seems to be like they're going with in Phase 4. So far, we haven't heard really much about Black Panther 2 or anything like that. It's just basically um, Immortals, Black Widow, and the other one. What's the Asian one there?
What was that?
What's the Asian one there?
The
Marvel movie that's coming out.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, right. So those are the movies in Phase 4. So like I said, just move on. I don't think they're going to retcon anything. I think they're going to do something different.
Okay. All right. Shell. 3 minutes on the board. Do you think they'll retcon anything? Go ahead.
I mean, when it comes to stuff like this, retconning. I don't know if retconning is really a thing because they kind of, or it's like it's so much of a thing that it's not really a thing. Like they always find a way to bring somebody back. So it's I mean, I'm guessing though that this is gonna have to take place sometime in between one of the other movies. But I mean, if that's the case, though, we should have gotten it in between one of the other movies, already.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm curious to see it though because of the other characters like I mean, I don't really know a whole lot about her family, but I guess her dad was like the Russian version of like Captain America or something.
I think so.
Yeah. And I like that guy. I've only seen a few episodes of Stranger Things, but I like that guy in Stranger Things. So I'm curious to see what he does, and I hope it does all right because I mean it's not really his movie, but after being in Hellboy, that didn't go so well from what I've heard. It didn't do spectacularly at the box office or whatever.
Didn't it come out right when all this was starting?
I don't
Hellboy?
remember.
No, Hellboy came out way before this started.
Was it last year?
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't had a chance to see that version of Hellboy, but I don't know. I just like to see him be in a quote unquote successful movie. So
Okay. Let me finish typing this up. Okay, 3 minutes on. Okay, so here's a few things I know. One, nobody knew what Scarlett Johansson's contract originally was, but a lot of people speculated that it was up during Endgame. And if that's true, that means that she's coming back for just one film for Black Widow, which doesn't really seem like what she would go for right now. There's a lot of people saying she's going to be in Avengers 4, or I mean the fourth Avengers movie. If that's true, and I mean, I guess that's your 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd be 5, but I think they would call it Avengers 4 or something like that because of the whole
Endgame and Infinity War is basically one movie.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but I think she's supposed to be in the next Avengers movie that they're talking about. In whatever reason or however they plan on doing that, if it's again, I just don't see that the way this is setting up that it won't have some sort of a retcon in it. I don't know if we're going to find out that she didn't die. I don't know if we're going to find out that it wasn't even really her or anything, because I see people talking about scrolls and all that. I just think that with the fact that she's still probably under some sort of a contract, that I'm going to say that they're probably going to retcon something so her as an actress can still be in it. Now, again, like I said, there's a lot of speculation from the trailer showing that they could be doing some sort of a face-off moment in this where her sister and her switch faces. I guess you could do that.
I hope they don't.
But if you do that, I mean, again, what's the purpose? And for everybody that's saying, well, I hope they don't do this because it would make it less meaningful and all that. Guys, think about what they did between Infinity War and Endgame. When they brought all those people back, everything was meaningless at that point. They've introduced time travel. That makes just about anything possible now. So I think that why wouldn't they retcon it?
Yeah, but if they bring her back to time travel, I'm okay with that. But if they bring her back saying that her and her sister change places, that's stupid.
Well, yeah, but it's comic book. It was in the comic books. And it's a cheap way out, but then again, time travel is cheap too. And yes, and absolutely, it's just it should have come after Captain America 2. Absolutely, the Black Widow, and you could fix all of these issues with people talking crap about if they retcon stuff and things like that by making it back then. She should have had this. If she had had that, she could have died in Endgame, and you wouldn't have had any problems. Everybody would have gone on their thing. It's just the sheer fact that everybody didn't like that part. I mean, it meant something to us. Let's talk about this. 3 minutes. It meant something, and it should stay like that. But because they had to make another movie, I think that they have bigger things in mind. What it is, how it is,
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, Marvel knows what they're doing, and I seen someone in the chat saying that Captain Marvel retconned some things, and I don't really think it retconned anything because we never got a full explanation of the things that they talked about, right? All we know is that Nick Fury came up with the name Avengers, but we don't know how. We also know that he lost his eye, but we never knew how. So they didn't really retcon it. They just made bullshit explanations as to why it happened. But I don't think they retconned anything. Now, at the same time, I really don't. I mean, it makes more sense to go with the Ross theory than to say that they're going to retcon anything. I don't know about her contract. I really don't. But it doesn't matter if her contract was up or not because Robert Downey Jr. contract is up, and we'll probably see him in another MCU movie too, right? So I just don't want them to do anything stupid.
No, I'm totally with you. I don't want anything stupid either. I don't know if I'd be totally against them bringing back I don't know. I don't see a problem with them bringing her back, but I don't necessarily want that either. What's going on, David? Shell, what do you think? I mean, are you totally against them bringing her back?
You mean after her quote unquote supposed death?
Yes.
I mean, well, I mean, I like looking at her, so
Yeah, if that's what we're basing this on, bring her back.
no, well, she was one of the better characters too, you know.
She was.
And I don't know, from what I've heard, you know, it's like, you know, she may not actually be dead. She might just be like trapped in the soul stone or something.
That's
right?
an interesting thought.
Because it's like, you know, I mean, I heard about them possibly bringing Gamora back that way, but they did that a different way.
They did that through time travel.
Yeah. So like the current Gamora isn't the same one that was boyfriend girlfriend with Star-Lord. So that relationship is starting from scratch again.
Well, you know, again, you know, so we live in Endgame. They lived in a world where all of the stones were destroyed, but then they got them back. So the Mind Stone might work to restore Gamora's understanding of everything. Maybe there's a lot of things that they could write in. So, guys, while you're watching, thank you everybody who is here. Do me a favor, if you're not yet subscribed to our Chaos Central channel, that is the link that I just put in the chat. Please go over there. We're trying to get up to 100 subscribers so we can get our vanity title. Makes it a lot easier to pimp it out. When you can say Chaos Central, you know, youtube.com/Chaos Central instead of youtube.com //UCGMNLD5A7GIA03QX7FX982.
Okay. And are we saying that that like this movie or like the movie itself should have come out after Winter Soldier?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it should have come out. I mean, like,
well, because that was the second Captain. Because
yeah,
the first Captain America was Captain America, the first Avenger.
I would have been fine with it there or after Civil War.
After Civil War would have been good too. Yeah. That's where I think it should have came out after Civil War.
It should have been in place of Captain Marvel. I don't disagree with that. They could have waited till Phase 4 to bring Captain Marvel in this. I mean, they're gonna get ready. They're gonna force another Captain Marvel down your throat too. I mean, I
made $1 billion. Of course.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it was a horrible movie. The next one won't make $1 billion. So unless they frame it around two things like they did this one.
Yeah.
It was in between Infinity War and Endgame. There was no way it wasn't going to make $1 billion.
So I watched Spider-Man: Far From Home, and spoiler alert, they used Skrulls in that, disguised as other people.
Nick Fury.
Yeah. So
you never know.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Okay, so the topic is in Thor: Love and Thunder. Do you think they will let female Thor live, or will they follow the comics and let Jane die? We can skip this one if you want because we kind of
got into it.
Okay, let's remove this one because we kind of tied that all up with the first one. So let's go through another one here. I've had this on several of the shows, but I think it's a. Have we talked about this? Was this last week?
I know we talked about it on the weekly.
Yeah, we did. But let's talk about it here. because I know Anzo probably has some stuff he'd like to say. With unlimited time, no interference from Disney, unlimited money, things like that, just whatever you need, you got it. You are in charge of the Star Wars project of your dreams. It can be a trilogy, it can be the TV show, it can be just a single one-off movie, whatever you want. With unlimited funds, time, and no interference from Disney, what would be your idea of the ideal new Star Wars movie or trilogy? That is the question. And since Anza, you haven't actually answered this in the past on any of my shows or any of the shows, well, let's get your view on this. 3 minutes on the board, and your time starts now.
All right. Well, with this question, it's there's two things I would do. I know a lot of people talk about they want to see the Old Republic, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's good. That's a good idea. But I would go back further. I'd probably go back to the first Jedi and the first Sith, right? And basically, I had a few ideas, but one of them, they'd probably be brothers, both powerful in the Force. No one to teach them how to use it or anything like that. So it's all trial and error for them. One of them turns bad, and the two brothers have to go back and forth. I would definitely have their parents in there so that it makes it more of a dynamic where everybody's trying to get this bad Jedi back. While he's doing that, while he's going to be going around the universe trying to figure out if he can find out more people with Force powers, turn them to his side. I'd have, some of them say no, maybe not go have the brothers searching for Jedis, but maybe have people with powers hearing about him and then searching him out. Then I'd have probably a big battle at the end, something like that. My second one would be 100 years into the future, right? By this time, the Jedi have grown. There's a bunch of Jedi. Again, there's a Sith Lord. We don't know who he is, but he's going around the universe again, and he's trying to pick up, people with Force powers to join his crew, and at the end of the day, I would have a big battle between Jedi and Sith, something like on the lines of Attack of the Clones, but a lot bigger battle. I wouldn't have no droids in there or anything like that. It would just be Jedi and Sith going at it one-on-one. I'd have like an army of Jedi, an army of Sith. How I would end those movies, though, I don't really know. I haven't gotten that far into it. But I would always leave the movies opened up. Like if I went to the one in the past, I would leave it opened up for an actual Old Republic. So it would be the beginning, then you could do the Old Republic and whatever, and then it would kind of blend into what we have now. And then at the end of it, I would always leave it open so that, we can make more movies with Jedi and Sith. I know, Star Wars is a universe, but I don't think it's good without any Jedi or Sith. That's just me. I want to see Jedi. I want to see Sith. I want to see new Force powers. I want to see stuff like that. So those are the two ways I would go at it. You give me unlimited funds, and I'm pretty sure I could come up with a story better than the sequels. That's for sure.
There you go. All right, Shell, tell everybody about your ideas. So time starts now.
Well, like I said on the other time, I'm really a fan of the Outer Rim and stuff like Mos Eisley, and the Hutts and the gangsters and all that stuff. And I'd like to see like a crew, like a smuggler crew or something like that. And then, have them do, this job and that job and, have to avoid and run away and fight bounty hunters and stuff like that. Or even even a one about bounty hunters, but have it be to where the bounty hunter isn't just a go get my mark and turn them in, like they would be hired to go get somebody, and then they would find out that they're innocent, and so they would end up fighting for them instead of, against them. When it comes to like Force users, though, seeing as how I've done tabletop gaming and stuff, not every Force user is a Jedi or a Sith. So kind of like the way shit. Snips, freaking
Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how like Ahsoka decided to walk away from the Jedi Order.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, she's not a Jedi, but she's still a Force user.
Yeah.
And
just don't say she's a gray Jedi, please.
Well, I mean, it's gray Jedi, freaking light side Force user, whatever.
No such.
But that's what I like is like say they'd be good guys, but they would if they had to pull from the dark side every once in a while to get the job done, then so be it. But I just don't want any more of the we have to be celibate like a Catholic priest, Jedi Order type of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See,
that I can agree with. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't do that either, because at the end of the day, the Jedi Order has changed, right? Yeah. So I wouldn't have it to where they can't have relationships or be loved. Something like that could actually drive more of a dynamic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can, let's say, like I said, one of them turns to the dark side. Maybe it's because someone he cared about died. You know what I mean? And that affected him in a way that brought him to a dark side. So you can actually play with that. So I would agree with that.
All right. So I've said this before, and I will say it again. While I would love to do a movie, and I probably would come up with something, but I've thought about this for a while with the streaming thing going on. I would like to propose that, and this would be multiple seasons, but they would kind of tandem. One would go on, the other would, after that one was over, the next one would come on. But I would do a Sith and a Jedi series and call it exactly that: Star Wars Sith and Star Wars Jedis, something like that. And what we would do is each season would dive into the history and the past of one particular Jedi or one particular Sith. So like Darth Plagueis would be one season. Yoda would be one season. And go back and forth. So you would basically be showing the history of these different Jedis and how they got to where you know them today, and maybe fill in some parts where we haven't seen. I've always liked the dynamic and the thought of that. I think the Sith are severely underused with as much material as they have. Yes, it isn't technically all canon, but it would be great to bring that into play so we know about it. We know Darth Plagueis is around. I mean, even if you want to count him, Snoke was in it. They can use Snoke, but I mean, I think that's the least of the ones I would do. But Darth Maul, you could get a full background idea of him. I think the idea of doing something like that would be really interesting. And there's a ton of Jedis too that you don't know a ton about. Imagine Mace Windu for a whole season. And again, you pick the most compelling ones. You could also bring the community in on this by saying, okay, we're working on this season. This is who it is. You're watching it right now. Who would you like to see on the next season of this? And you could actually do, you can do polling to see who, because I think that's kind of what's missing out of Star Wars right now is the connection with the fans. And if you could try to find a way back into that, that would be a good thing to do. But yeah, but I would just call it, like I said, Star Wars Sith and Star Wars Jedis, and dive into the past for a season of one particular, or you could do it each episode. If you make it an hour, maybe that's all you need, and maybe you can get 8 of each out. But I like the idea of spending a whole season on one particular person. There's because a lot of them really have some deep history. 3 minutes on this. So we got one that's kind of Jedi versus Sith battling. So Anzo, you would do kind of back before the Sith was just 2, like where,
right?
Okay,
You know what I mean. And then and that way we could also explore how they got to the rule of 2 theory and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that you can also do with that. I also seen someone in the chat saying that they don't want a trilogy, and I totally disagree with that. I want Star Wars to be trilogies. I don't want them to be single movies. Keep doing the trilogies, and then you can branch out and do single movies if you want to. But again, you got to give us something good. You can't give us solo crap. You know what I mean?
See, I think yours would be a good idea for a trilogy, and what Shell's talking about would be a good idea for a one-off. I
agree.
The weird thing is that Solo was kind of they kind of made it sound like they were doing another one. They tried to show that it had something else. It's like, but that's not how you build it. You didn't build it as a multiple movie thing. You built it because when we got done with Rogue One, it was done. They didn't even. All they did was say, "We're going to tie this directly into
A New Hope."
Solo kind of has some ties to the Clone Wars, kind of has some ties to some other stuff, but it doesn't. It feels more like it's trying to say, "We're going to come back to what you just saw in the next movie." So, Shell, you want smugglers? Would you? What would you have them like? What would be the purpose of smuggling? Like, would it be something where they're smuggling something for the resistance, or not resistance, but the rebels? Or would you do something where they'd be maybe smuggling something to the Empire? Or would they just be against everything, and the backdrop is what everything else is going around them, but they don't care. They're there, and maybe they get swept up into it.
I mean, I don't know. From what I know, like things I've heard in the past. It's like in the Outer Rim, it doesn't really matter who's in charge. The business has been business, regardless of whether it was the time of the Empire or not. So I mean, you could be working for, say, you could be working for the Hutts, and your boss would be like, okay, I want you to go to this planet, to this city, to this house. And it just so happens that this house is owned by the Black Sun, which is one of the rival crime syndicates, and so they have to steal something from the Black Sun for their Hutt boss. So it could be like a crime family on crime family type of thing.
Well,
it could be it could be, say, like after the Empire took power, like sometime in between sometime in between episodes 3 and 4, that 20-year time period. It could be any time period really, but especially with the first scenario, if it's just crime family against crime family and stuff like that.
Would you call? I mean, I like the dynamic of the crime families, but I mean, I'm trying to think of the overall premise of what you could call it. But I mean, I understand what you're saying.
I kind of also think, that type of idea, like, is, do it like, the Mandalorian, it could be like a series, it wouldn't have to be a movie, it could be like an ongoing seasonal thing too.
Yeah, and I think it would work, and that would work very well.
Yeah, I think it would work too, 100%.
Yeah,
For me, I just think they just need to have good stories. If you have good stories, you can make good Star Wars movies.
well,
But I just find their stories aren't that great.
So 14 Barber put in here that I think any Star Wars would be decent if Kennedy is out of the way, and I don't disagree with that. And again, I think we've been over this in a lot of different panels, a lot of different groups, a lot of different shows. Kennedy has taken away Star Wars from Star Wars. She focused on things that had nothing to do with anything at the time. Well, for instance, the Force is female. But she said that she's pushed that. Well, why does it have to be female? It's not male. George Lucas never came out and said it's a male-dominated thing. That's what we saw in the original trilogy. But when it went to the other trilogy, there were women around.
Well, they didn't they try to, for lack of a better term, debunk that by saying it was tied to a Nike ad or a Nike commercial or something?
I got no clue, and it's so stupid. They're going to try to push it off like, oh, that's not what she said, but she said it time and time again, and then they brought up, oh, there's not enough inclusion, there's not enough diversity in Star Wars. Well, wait a minute. Again, never had to be mentioned before because, well, it's not just about human form, it's about aliens and all the other stuff going around. And that stuff alone was always there, and you always felt like that there was some diversity going on, and yet that's what she's focused on, and that's not what Star Wars is about. Star Wars is about diversity, because when you don't think about the diversity, it's because it's already there.
We got more we got more black people, we got more Asian people and whatnot, right? But then we got an alien mechanic with no arms.
Yeah, it's like, if you overthink it, you're not going to do very well with it.
That's true.
And I think who was it that said it? And then the rest of what 14 said was, after Kennedy should get out of the way of it, the dream team, Lucas and Favreau. I think it's more Lucas and Filoni. I think Favreau's a good addition. He can keep things on track. I think Filoni and Lucas are the ones that are really the thought behind a lot of stuff. And while, again, I will say Filoni's not perfect, he does mess with lore occasionally, but he's also the first to come out and say, I understand, this is why I did it. And the things he does, I don't think are as treasonous as some of the other stuff that we've seen. I think that if you gave him time, he could find something that would bring, put it this way. If you got a trilogy that was on the level of The Mandalorian, you would not be getting as many people bitching about it.
I think, especially after I saw a couple of things, recently, and by recently I mean, the last few months or whatever of this year. I've been a Filoni fan, the hardcore, EU people that are like, oh, he messed up the Mandalorians, by making them pacifist, and all, the quote unquote new Mandalorians and whatnot, like Duchess Satine and stuff, from Rebels. And I was like, well, I didn't mind it, because, it's like, you know, you can be a warrior culture, quote unquote warrior culture, but that doesn't mean that's all you like have to be. You know, you can still have, you know, the other types of people too, you know, and you know, I was looking at that from like a, you know, a military veteran point of view. You know, I mean, you know, you know, when you're in the military, you know, you're there to like, you know, fight when the shit goes down, but that's not like all you are though, you know.
No.
So, but you know, with the thing that I saw him in, you know, like an interview from like a few years ago or something, and you know, he was just basically, you know, playing to the female crowd, you know, and just making a bunch of snarky comments and stuff like that. You know, it's like, okay, but I don't know. Here lately, you know, a part of me thinks that Favreau might actually have more of a handle on it than Filoni does.
He might, but I think Filoni and Favreau together is what really is going to make the.
Well, Filoni knows more.
But like it said though,
that's for sure.
Yeah, like it was said though, it's not going to matter as long as they still have to answer to Kathleen Kennedy.
Well, you see, Kennedy's out in a year and a half, supposedly. Now, I've put out a wild theory, and I'll put it out again, that with the way that Bob Iger left the position he was in, but he's still in charge of everything, and putting Bob Chapek in, who really didn't have an idea of how to do this job that he's in.
Right.
He understands theme parks. He doesn't understand the movies and all of that. Here's the thing. And
Iger's been part of the problem too by letting Kennedy do whatever the fuck she wants. You know?
My crazy idea is that since Iger and Kathleen Kennedy's contracts end on the same day, next year, December like 21st, you know, whatever, I don't know exactly the date, but I've always, with everything that's gone on recently, I kind of I've had this bad feeling that what if Iger's just setting this up for Chapek to take over for long enough that he can blame enough on him and say, well, he's got to go. And then right before Iger leaves, he says, well, I'm going to put Kathleen Kennedy in charge of Disney. And then signs a contract with her for 4 to 5 years or however long and lets her take over. And then he walks off the board.
Yeah, no.
He talks to them and makes them give basically all of it to her. I know it sounds like a crazy theory, but listen, people, there's a reason why Kathleen Kennedy's still around. And it's not because Iger hates her. I don't know what it is. I hope to God next December they walk away and say, we're both done. Leave us alone. But we'll see. Yeah. But I think Star Wars, as far as we know, is going to be primarily, I know they've mentioned the Bad Batch is coming out. So they're going to do the Bad Batch, and I think they're going to do the Mandalorian, and I think that's all we're going to see until, hopefully, like I said, Kennedy's out. If Kennedy and Iger leave, and then they get smart and put Filoni and Favreau in charge, Lucas won't be named, but he'll be a part of it, guaranteed, because Filoni is still really on good terms from everything we've heard with Lucas. So Lucas may not be named on things, but I have a feeling his influence will be heavily put into it. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And then starting in 2022 is when we'll start to see something of Star Wars really trying to reclaim the brand.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Iger, I thought Iger was out in 2021 too.
I'm not sure.
Hiring. Yeah, I think he changed that whenever they Yeah, December 2021. Now 68 years old with 3 of his 4 kids away at college, Iger says he plans to officially retire in 2021. December of 2021. And he put the date on the end of her contract, which is, again, even more interesting. Again, it's like just the way that things are shaping up. I would never be surprised if Iger says, okay, I'm retiring, but my last thing I'm going to do is put Kathleen Kennedy in charge of Disney as the CEO. And we did a vote today, and my last vote was to make her chairman of the board. Oh, no, you think it sounds crazy, but listen, think about what they've been doing with Disney.
But think about freaking Lucasfilm versus Marvel. Okay, Marvel's been taking in money freaking hand over fist, and Lucasfilm has not. I mean, they've quote unquote made their money back.
Yeah.
But not really. You know.
Yeah. See,
I mean, they paid $4 billion for Lucasfilm.
Yeah, but listen,
and they've what? I don't know if they've doubled that yet or not, but you know, they're still not setting the world on fire.
No, but it's not about that.
Well, they kind of are setting the world on fire, but
here's the thing: if she was going to be gone, everybody keeps talking about, oh, she's going to get fired. Bob Chapek's going to fire her. Bob Chapek's not in charge of shit. First off, he is a figurehead, and who's still in charge is Bob Iger. Iger is
Chapek's not even in there anymore.
No, he's there. They're just Iger is holding his hand. Is what the last word I got from it. And Bob Chapek still has the title. Iger, even when Bob Chapek was announced, I was like, that doesn't mean Iger's out. Iger's in charge of it all. He is the man at the top of the board. And so when everybody thought that he was going to be kicked out, I was like, yeah, the board's not going to be able to do that because the board has to unanimously agree upon his departure to get him out, if I remember right. And it just seems really weird that he makes the announcement, I'm stepping down from the CEO of Disney. I'm still in charge of the board. So, you know, everything still goes through him, theoretically, because he's the guy that gets all the feedback from all of the stockholders. So he tells them, you do this. They don't like you doing this, so you got to do this. And then as soon as he steps down from the CEO position at Disney, he says, okay, I'm going to retire in 2021, in December 2021, which, again, coincides now with Kennedy leaving. So why would he pick right then to go? Because Kennedy leaving Star Wars isn't going to kill anything. So it's not like he's going to be like, shit's going to hit the fan after she leaves. No, it's not. What I just see the 1+1, the pawn being moved, the pieces being moved, moving Chapek in, things going bad, which this is helping. Everything going on this year is only helping that case. Blame it on him, and then we got to find somebody who's loyal, somebody who stays the course, somebody who has the new mentality of movies and the thinking of inclusion and all of that. We need that person. And guess what? You name a female CEO, and you leave a champ. I mean,
you know what I see. You know what I see happening if Iger was to be like, hey, I want KK to be my replacement. You know what I see? I see their freaking bottom line, like freaking going ballistic straight to fucking hell. Okay.
No, but anybody who's got money in this company, if that was the case, it would have already happened, and it hasn't because they still see.
Well, it's because she's only in charge of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, but they don't.
If Kathleen Kennedy was in charge of Disney, Marvel, and Lucasfilm, the shit would hit the fan.
Only with people, only certain people would think that way. I think that
the same people with the freaking money to spend.
No, because if that was the case, they would have gotten out after. Listen, they would have gotten out. They would have told them to fire her if they thought that Disney bottom line was being hurt by Star Wars. They still would have. And the thing is putting her in charge of it all doesn't mean she's going to have time to tell them what to do. Then, I'm just saying the argument can really be put out there that is something that's very much on the table at this point in time. Yes, we'd all prefer she go away and just not be seen again. But I have a feeling that Kathleen Kennedy's got much bigger plans on her horizon than just what's going on. Yeah, trust me, I don't want it.
No.
I see Shell sitting there with his knees up in his chest.
As we like to say, shut your whore mouth.
But what if I'm right? Next year comes around. What is everybody going to chastise me? Well, you were right. God damn it! You gave them ideas. Nobody from Disney cares what I say.
I'm gonna drive to your house and it's gonna be like the Three Stooges, with the slapping of the face. Yeah.
All right, guys, we've been going for about an hour now. That's typically where we cut it off. Let's give you guys a chance to tell everybody about yourself one last time. And we'll start with Shellback this time. Shellback, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and all that.
Shellback TJC, YouTube, Twitter. I make content every once in a while. I'm gonna try and get better at it. But if you absolutely have nothing to do, go and check out my channel. I need the watch time.
Even if you don't have anything, even if you have something to do, go to his channel, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, Shellback, for showing up today. I appreciate your help. Thank you. Nzo, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
Yes, you guys know where to find me, Biggaford Entertainment. Later on today, I'm going to be on with Terrence and John. We're going to be doing our Stargirl review. Also, 3 channels, Chaos List, Chaos Conversation, and The Rule of 3, and also with Rob Storms later on. So you guys come check us out. Thanks for joining the show today, actually.
Hey, could you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Tell Terrence to put a shirt on. Damn it.
He makes Shell feel inferior.
No, it's just that that damn avatar picture of him. I mean, he's just sitting there like relaxing, and he's yoked as a mofo. It's like, what the hell? But
yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Well, I'm Chris Knight. This is The Real Review 3000. We're also going simulcasting over to Chaos Central. Please do me a favor, go over there, and please subscribe over there, because we need 100 subscribers to get our vanity title, and it would really be a help if you could help us do that. I guess that makes sense. Anyways, with that said, guys, I got things to go do. I know you guys got things to go do. Yep. So everybody say goodbye.
Peace.